Hi, I'm Dan Price from Bigfoot Knows Karate and Homebrewed Comics.
I'm Dennis Valencia from The Celestial Knight versus Caspian Porter, also from Homebrewed Comics. And
And you're
you are
watching
on Splash
Splash
Pages.
Splash Pages. We almost got that right. Nice.
So the only thing left to say, of course, is the one obvious thing.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
Hey, happy Tuesday, everybody. My name is Leo, and this is Splash Pages, and you know what? It's been a long day. I almost got that backwards. Anyway, we got an awesome show scheduled for you, as always, and hey, Jar Jar!
Woo! I'm back again. It's Tuesday. I'm so excited. This is really great. I'm really happy to be back, guys.
Well, we're happy to have you back. Yay!
Thank you.
Woo. Mr. Drew!
Oh, I'm on. Hi. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Splash Pages, where people who definitely had other things to do on Tuesday are procrastinating and decided to spend that time with us. To which we say, we are not liable for anything that happens during this time.
No.
So, with that in mind, we have some great guests here. We've spent a good amount of time reading a lot of their current work, so we're going to have questions about it. We've got 2 out of the 3 Marx brothers here, so definitely excited to have them on. From Homebrewed Comics, everybody, and if you haven't heard from them, well, guess what? You're going to know now. You've seen that. You're going to learn about their books like Bigfoot, Bigfoot Karate, God damn, I had like the list here, and now my computer is just like being ridiculous. God damn it. See,
Crit.
Celestial Knight,
C.R.I.T.
Righteous Indignation, Caspian Porter. I'm good. And probably a bunch of other things that they're currently working on. And they can't talk. I skimmed the NDA. But we have them on. We're really excited. They got here on time. Thank you. Everybody, Homebrewed Comics.
Woo!
Hey, how's it going, y'all? Good to have you here, or good to be here.
Good to have you, Dan, and we have Dennis as well. How's it going?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Hey, man.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, and I goofed. I thought it was Bigfoot Knows Kung Fu, but it's Bigfoot Knows Karate.
It's karate.
Oh, close enough.
Oh, right
Whatever.
there.
It's all good.
Don't make the Karate Kid mistake, where
It's
it's that, and
Actually,
then
is
you have the remake, and they're like,
actually,
we're going to teach him karate, but it's actually kung fu. It's like, well, wouldn't it be the Kung Fu Kid? They're like, no, no, no,
Right.
no, franchise,
no,
and I'm
I
just like,
obviously have not watched the latest one, Karate Kid Legends. It's karate and kung fu. It's two branches
karate
of the
fu.
same tree. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't
Terrible.
seen it yet. I loved Cobra Kai. I watched the hell out of that, but I haven't seen the new
I
Legends one
stopped
yet.
after like when the kid got knocked over the railing at the school. Like I was just like,
Oh,
oh, this has gone weird.
oh,
I,
it gets more and more over the top. I mean, those kids should have been arrested 19
Oh
times
yeah,
over on that show. I mean,
I,
it's ridiculous, but it was chock full of, entertainment. I will give it that.
I'm watching these, and I keep imagining that the only way that these movies can end properly is Master Raiden for Mortal Kombat is just recruiting and just be like, you are needed to save your realm. And it's just Mortal Kombat. And that's the end. I would just be like, what a
Yeah.
wonderful segue to the new Mortal Kombat universe we're building. Fantastic. You know,
Mortal
nothing like,
Kombat.
I don't
Gaming.
remember Mr. Miyagi teaching me to deal with Scorpion and Sub Zero.
Right.
So,
Awesome.
but
That'd be
but
amazing.
that's just where my mind goes. So, guys, thank you very much. I know we have one of your other collaborators, I believe Chris, is supposed to join us at any point now,
Yeah.
so he'll be here. So we'll
yes.
just keep talking, and he'll catch up, because life happens. So
So
go, Jar.
all right, so who's got you guys all? Because I know you're not from all in the same areas. First, where are you guys all from? And second, who got you guys all together to start this adventure?
Dennis, you want to start us off?
Yeah, man. I'm from South Carolina. Chris, who hasn't joined yet, he's from North Carolina. Him and
Mm.
I, over the last couple of years, we've partnered together since we're only an hour and a half away. So anytime we had a con or anytime we needed a team up or a meeting, he was always my go-to guy. We were in another publisher, the years previous, and I met through Dan through Instagram, and Dan will go into his origin. But at least for us two, and myself joining the Homebrewed Comics at the tail end. It really was Chris and Drew's baby, and then we got the invite. But go ahead, Dan.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm from Austin, Texas, but
There's the accent.
join. Say it again.
I said, "There's the accent." It finally popped in. I was like, I couldn't.
Flat on into it if I need to, but right now I'm just going to do this. So yeah, it's Chris and Drew came up with the Homebrewed Comics. Like Chris had the label Homebrewed Heroes previously, and they decided to pair up and come up with Homebrewed Comics. And it's been great because we've been able to take our different talents that we have, whether it be marketing or distribution or all the different things that we have experience with, and bring that all to the table. So it's we're working together in tandem in a really nice way.
Mhm.
It's been a really good venture thus far.
No, it's really interesting. I'm surprised I hadn't heard. I know the name out there, Homebrewed Comics, but I hadn't like, especially Bigfoot Knows Karate. I was just like, and Celestial Knight. That was friggin' dope. Um, just wild ideas. Like I'm kind of shocked that I hadn't heard of it. Like Carrie hasn't done the Kickstarters before, has she, Drew?
I don't know. I don't recall some of these. I mean, I feel like I definitely would have recalled a story that essentially was founded on the basic principles of D&D. I feel
Yeah,
like that's
right.
something that definitely would have stuck out to me. But we've covered so many Kickstarters this year,
Uh,
Jar. Sometimes I feel things metaphorically fall between the cracks, and we don't have a robot to yell at us when we fuck up here. So,
but we do have a Carrie, and she's talking in the comments.
there you go.
Nice.
Well, yes, just because we can't be on does not mean our presence is still not felt in some way. Think Force Ghosts. There we are.
There you go. Nice.
One of the
So,
Thank you.
things
Yes,
that
she did.
Yep.
oh,
who's
go ahead.
from marketing out of you four?
Yeah, that'd be me.
Ah,
Yeah,
Here
that
we go.
would be me. Yeah, I've Yeah, I guess I need to amp up my game since y'all haven't heard of us yet. So we got a lot to do.
We must have missed it when Carrie brought it up because Carrie heard about you guys.
Thanks, Carrie. You rock. Carrie's awesome.
Yep,
Uh,
she was the point person. She was like, "Oh, this." I'm like, "Okay, cool." Like they reached out to us. Cool, that's awesome. Normally, it's us reaching out to other people, so people found us. And I was like, "Nice, getting that profile up, Leo." That
So do you
those
guys all
YouTube hours of this. Hmm.
do you guys all play D&D together? Is that how that formed, or is that somebody else's D&D setup?
No, yeah, Chris, his book and his campaign was basically based off a D&D story. So he has a group
Yeah.
of friends, and they play D&D. They've been playing D&D for years and years. I think as long as they've been friends. And
Yeah.
it wasn't until he decided to take those campaigns and translate them into a comic book, which I'll be honest with you, we've all been reading comic books since we were little kids. I think it's just a genius idea. I mean, imagine you just playing D&D and you're sitting around with your friends saying the dumbest shit and doing the
Oh,
funniest
for real.
stuff. Yeah, and then you just take it and you transcribe it, and then you fill in the gaps here and there, and you get it into print and put it on paper. I mean, I just an
awesome.
automatic, genius idea, and I'm just like, dude,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
it writes
I've watched
itself, you know?
Yeah, I've watched D&D shows and stuff like that, and
Yeah,
like I'm just like, wow, why hasn't anybody ever thought to
yep,
throw this into a comic book? This is great.
But what's cool about it is it's not just a D&D game, but it's a homebrewed superhero D&D game. So it's
Yeah.
like, so it's like the other guys. It's that action comedy, and it's hilarious. I mean, he throws in
Well,
song lyrics from time to
I was
time,
gonna
stuff
say
like
like
that. And it's like,
Suicides. I was gonna say like Suicide Squad thrown in there. It was very a team of misfits.
hmm
okay, yeah, I've never seen the Suicide Squad movie, so but so I didn't know that they did that. But
Well,
yeah, it's awesome. I mean, the crit book. I'm not a D&D person. It totally grabbed me. I mean, that's the thing.
same. I tried.
Yeah,
I'm still just gotta find the right game.
hmm
Well,
right.
I think I, I just need to give credit because I've never read a comic where people are literally calling out like that the characters are acting like anime characters. And to me, that is perfect because there have been moments where I'm just like, why am I yelling? And it's not just yelling, it's exposition. Like I'm telling you what I'm going to do as I'm
yeah,
about to do it in great detail while dramatically moving quickly. And I'm just like, what am I doing? Why do I have a sword in my hand? What is going
Oh,
on? Like,
why are
you
you
know,
yelling?
exactly. Exactly. Why am I yelling?
Why is my voice
Like,
raised? Yeah,
exactly. Like, I can't even control the melodiousness of my tone, but it just comes out. But, and then like I said, this was fantastic. Me and Leo were talking earlier about Caspian Porter, um, which I'm not going to spoil anything, but I definitely appreciated because I was like, oh, look, it's me as a pirate. um, Especially be crashing on a planet, and I'm like, shit, there's going to be something chasing me. I know it. But the one that I will say I particularly and definitely enjoyed was Bigfoot Knows Karate.
hmm
'Cause I was like, I'm reading it, I'm like, what? And Dan, we were talking about this earlier because I was like, I kept getting it wrong as I was saying it. I was like, Bigfoot does karaoke. I'm like, what? And then I was like, but would he? So, and then you said something like you considered like if the book ends, you would do like a spin-off. What was the pitch? It was
Oh, it was a joke. So my co-writer Casey Allen and I always make the joke when Bigfoot retires from karate, we're gonna change the book into Bigfoot Does Pilates, and like it would be his retirement years.
okay.
Uh, but yeah,
Okay, please tell me in that case, are we talking like Olivia Newton-John headband around, like let's get physical,
See, I was
physical,
sure, why not?
physical.
I mean, we've
I'm
gone
just
off the rails so hard with the regular book. I mean, he fights Kung Fu Thulu for crying out loud. If he can
yeah,
do that, I think we can have him do a headband and get physical. I mean, I
a
don't.
little Richard Simmons haircut going on and
yeah,
everything.
Sure. There was
yeah.
a scene in Bigfoot 3 when Casey and I were hanging out actually for the first time face to face, and we were talking about that. We had the scene in there where he was going to ride a motorcycle, and we were like, no, never mind. But we do attempt some pretty crazy stuff from time to time, and but I mean, it would be ridiculous, this 10-foot tall hairy thing riding a motorcycle. So we didn't do that. What's up, Chris? How you doing, bud?
Hey, how's everybody doing?
I'm sorry. I'm just imagining that. I was like, boy, Meatloaf really let himself go. Like you did. That was just some bad. So I have to ask, because again, we were talking about this, and you happen to enjoy my
Sure.
pun. What would Bigfoot's karaoke songs be?
Oh, the karaoke song would definitely be, and I told Dennis this years ago when he said, "What song should I listen to when I'm reading the first book of Bigfoot Knows Karate?" And do you remember what the song was, Dennis?
No, I can hear it though. I'll tell you that
Yeah,
much.
it's "Going Out West" by Tom Waits. Would be the song to listen to while you're reading the book, and I think he's got a gruff enough voice that Benny could handle it. You know what I mean?
Oh my God, yeah, that slaps, man.
All right,
Not,
cool.
not gonna lie, because it's funny, because I'm reading this, and especially I think it was when he puts on the I think it was the gi. I was just like, why does this just like I just heard like the Samurai Jack theme song in the back of my mind. Like you just put that on, I was like, watcha. I was just like, dude, this is just insane.
And
Like
then
you guys have escalated each time. Like I was like, the second I was like, I'm sorry, that's a Kung Fu Cthulhu. I'm done. I'm good. I can't. It talks. I was like, I'm done.
Oh yeah, and it was like a cross between Macho Man Randy Savage and Max Cady from Cape Fear. You know what I mean? That was kind of like the vibe we were going for with Cthulhu. But
funny.
yeah, that was kind of the vibe. But in chapter 2, we introduced a chupacabra with a shotgun, and that was I'm a character that I'm so excited about in chapter 3 that we get to explore more of. I mean, so we're having fun. Casey and I, my co-writer, we're just trying to have a good time, and hopefully people are enjoying it with us.
I
know.
like
they had huge kaiju fucking Cthulhu, and then Bigfoot grew into a huge Bigfoot. That was dope.
Yeah, he just giant manned himself.
Yeah.
I was just like, okay, so this went from monster kung fu to now God. It's like I was like, man, if there's one more monster, this thing just became its own rampage.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah, we liken the book to Godzilla versus Kong meets Kill Bill with a twist of X-Files. And that twist of X-Files came in at the end when that there's that twist at the end with, and I won't go into it too much. Machete Mothman, Jetpack Jersey Devil, nice. We do, and we explore so many other creatures of lore and kaiju and cryptids and things like that as the series goes on. And we really get to play with all that stuff. But I mean, I don't know. It's just a blast to work on. It really is. I mean,
that's cool.
Just yeah.
Oh no, it was totally insane. And I think sometimes you need that, because I think sometimes the best comics are ones that it balanced taking itself seriously. Where I was like, fuck it. Like, we'll just do this. I think those are usually the best kind of comics, because again, it's fun. I mean, like there's a plot, and you have that, but you don't want to do is like, oh, I'm just trying. Like you don't want to the point where you're trying to basically emulate somebody to the point where you're just kind of copying it. Like it's like, oh well, I'm gonna try. I'm doing so many word bubbles. Oh, I'm Bendising this, or oh, I'm trying to Frank Miller this thing. You're like, no, this is what makes sense to us. We're having fun. Enjoy it or don't. Cool.
Yeah, I mean, look, and I will say this, and that's always the attitude I think writers, should take. It should be entertaining to them, and I mean, because and then if people latch onto it, awesome. I mean, you want to make something that people are going to enjoy. You don't want to make like Dickhead the Kid or something like that. That he's just an asshole to everybody and nobody wants to read that. But I don't even know where that came from. But anyway, but I mean, like my first stories were like, my original book was called Latex Avenger, and he wore a rubber on his head and he fought crime, and he had a sidekick named Spermicidal Foam Lad, and together they repelled crime 99.9% of the time. You know, and I mean, so this is
that's
far more
great.
the most commercial thing I've ever done is this Bigfoot book, you know, but it's
Right.
like, but you got to do what makes you passionate about comics, you know, and for me, this was weird enough to maybe interesting to me, but like it has enough of a, there's something there that I think more people will read than, you know, like the dude who wore a rubber on his head. You know what I mean? For sure.
Yep. Yeah, because what you just described, this other pitch, I was like, that's some Mystery Men level shit right there. That is just
Oh,
some
I love Mystery Men. I love Mystery
weird,
Men so
super
much.
villain,
It's just,
you know?
dude. Oh,
So,
Mystery Men is such is so good, especially the
Uh,
movie. I mean, the comics were fun, but the movie is so good.
absolutely. And
Yeah.
then, so then there was other ones. There was Celestial Night, which was fantastic. That
yeah, that's
like
Dennis.
like like that kind of had like a bit of a like Jar. Did you? I feel like it had a little bit of a Spawn feel, kind of like how the suit would like augment the hero a little
I
bit.
didn't even think of that. That's a good one.
Mm,
I was entranced starting to read that.
mm,
It went because it starts off with this family that the father's leaving to go to America,
Yeah.
and
yeah,
it all of a sudden we're in New York, I believe it is,
Staten Island.
and Staten
Yep.
Island, yeah, and we're with this other guy, and like I'm like, whoa, what is going on here? Very interesting stuff. And then all of a sudden, he's like not ripped apart, but like put through this immense like transformation of sorts.
Right.
And all of a sudden, he can hear his dog. Like I'm in. I'm like, all right, we're talking to our dog. This is fantastic. I've got a huge bunch of pets downstairs that if
I
I
was about
could
to
sit
say,
there and communicate, that would be great.
absolutely, Jar. I mean, it to me, it kind of felt like it was like Spawn, a little bit of Spawn meets kind of like Doctor Fate-ish with the funniest sidekick possible. I was like, this little Doctor Doolittle here with the dog talking, and then you have like Pacific Rim meets a little bit of like X Filesy.
Mhm.
Like
Once
that's kind
again,
of what.
kaiju's. I'm in. I'm like, all
Yeah,
right, big
seriously. Like,
monsters. Let's
yep,
do
Yeah.
just
this.
monsters appearing out of nowhere. Hmm.
I think when when I started creating this and get it on paper, I tried to just do those things, and you guys alluded to it. You want to write what you like, what's fun to you. For me, armored characters, armor, like kind of like borderline mech, and when you see issue
Right.
two, you see borderline mech. Love kaiju's. I mean, if I'm not watching Godzilla in the background, I don't know what I'm doing. But there's always something. It has to be something I find fun. I'm really glad. Like when I did issue one, I'm glad you started with the family thing in the beginning. For me,
Hmm.
whenever it comes to superheroes or hero books, it's always about their origin and their motivation.
Yeah.
So for
Right.
me, everyone knows Peter Parker's motivation. Batman's motivation. For me, I want to set his motivation, Jeremy's motivation, in issue one, issue two, issue three. So you get a taste of his motivation in issue one. It's about that American dream, and in issue two, you'll get and see his second motivation. Issue three, eventually, you'll see his third motivation. So I want to set his core character, his ethics, why he does what he does. And I always
Right.
say, just if I gave you superhero powers, it doesn't mean you can defend a planet and save all these people who care less if you die. So why
Right.
would you do that? So that was kind of my basis, just starting it out with the family aspect. And then
Mhm.
I'm really glad you mentioned the dog. And it's funny because, Superman just came out and it's all about crypto. And I'm like, listen, I got my fun dog in there a few years
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
beforehand. And my whole thing was there's a dog, Norman. And actually, my dog is named Norman. And the thing about Norman is, he has superpowers. He can talk to his human. But the thing is, the whole thing is his fun facts. So does he know his fun facts because he got superpowers, or does he really know fun facts because he sits home watching TV all day? And that was kind of the fun thing. I wanted my Oracle. Batman has his
Oh
Right.
yeah.
Oracle, and yeah. And this was just my way of like I always said to the guys, like just because you have superpowers doesn't mean you know how to fight. Doesn't mean you know how to solve every situation. So I
Right.
want to have someone who was always there in his head to say, "Hey, here's something a little fun," or what if he has a question, he'll go back to him, and that was kind of the genesis of having that little relationship, pop about.
Okay, but I have to ask one small detail, like because
Yeah.
I know his first thing is I'm very much the I believe Calvin from Calvin Hobbes once put it is, I'm not dumb. I just have a thorough command of absolutely useless information. So
Yes.
I'm very much that person who will just be like, I know this thing. I'm like, why do I know this thing? That has
Yes.
absolutely nothing to do with us. We're going to die. But I
Yeah.
had to share this trivia. Um, the thing that he was getting broken up with on the text message about KFC
Yeah.
and the date,
Yeah.
is that real life or did you just throw that out there?
That's real life.
Okay.
Oh, good job,
Yeah.
man.
Dear,
Thank you. Yeah.
because that was a little too specific. And I'm like, did that happen? I was like, that question, I was like, were you the one messaging that to someone or did someone say it to you?
Yeah.
So
No, I'm guilty as charged. Yeah. The younger days. But hey, you can take it. Like, you felt it. It's yours, brother.
I'm just saying, I just saw that. I was like, it again, it was one of those like, that's a little too specific. Like when
Yeah.
something's very specific, you're like, that
Yeah.
actually happened, didn't it?
Yeah.
And
You're
I was
not
just
alone,
like,
bro.
yeah, okay, cool. I'm just like, well done. Well done.
I
I
appreciate
love
it.
how you have the dog calling him Jeremy because my name's Jeremy and people
Yeah.
call me Jeremy all the time, and I'm just
All the
like,
time.
there's a extra little syllable in there.
A little connection there. Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
Yeah.
no, but that was great too. And then, like again, we already talked about crit. But
Well,
We didn't
Chris is
really touch on
so he has
Caspian yet.
did
questions
we?
about that.
Okay,
Yeah.
well,
What was
we
that?
can.
I missed that. What was that?
Who was
What
talking?
were you saying, Dan?
Oh, I'm sorry. I would say regarding crit. Chris is here now, so if you have any,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
I
right.
missed everything.
Oh,
So
so
you're welcome to.
so you're the one that had the D&D party going on,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yep.
Um, did was there one person in the party that just made everything weird, or yeah?
Yeah. Reach. Yeah. He's the weird uncle. That's the whole shtick with him.
Okay.
His yeah. I think it's even in there. It might be in one of his descriptions. He's like everyone's weird uncle. And there in issue 4, there's an argument between him and Spectre about something, and Spectre was like, "That's why I left the group chat." It happened in real life. We were playing D&D, and we were talking about something in group chat. He's like, "I left as soon as Obi put tentacle porn in the group chat," and
Oh man.
I toned it down a little bit for the book, but I did mention tentacles, and
As you have to.
yeah, and so there's always that one guy that just makes every group weird, and that's Reach.
Yeah.
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 It without fail. It is just you just sit there and it's a moment of time, and there's either two things. One, you realize it's you, or you just wait for that person to reveal itself. It's like, okay, that's him. Let's define the other roles.
He's an edge lord, and it's said many times in the book. Like there's many comments made, like I swear to God, if I open my phone and this is in there, I'm gonna, like it's very prominent because it happens in real life.
Absolutely, because it was funny because like he like again like I'm reading this and like he kind of had like an almost Deadpoolian kind of like the one I was just like I think it was the scene. It was like, yeah, we're a little late. He had to figure out how many grenades he wanted to carry.
Mhm.
I was like, Jesus Christ, like what
Well,
the
that's actually
hell?
Brad in real life. That everything you read is said at the table, so it's
Oh,
not
no
like this
kidding.
is. I record everything, and I
Meaning,
I edit some of it down. There's a lot of banter. It's a D&D game,
well, yeah,
Yeah.
but 95% of what's said here actually is said at the table. It's pre-recorded.
it's amazing.
Just kind of storyboarded out. I taught myself how to draw to do this stuff. So like this first book you see is the first thing I've ever done as far as drawing comic books, really drawing in general.
Wow.
Taught myself how to letter, taught myself how to do the whole entire thing.
Guy's a walk-in Marvel Comics.
I'm flabbergasted right now. That's pretty impressive for your first time out.
Yeah.
Damn.
I wanted to give something to my friends, as the DM of the group. It was like, oh, this is fun. Like we're having we just had so much fun playing that I wanted to draw it out. There was things we were talking about for months after the first session, and I had a lot of downtime. I just started sketching and turning it into something. And next thing you know, I have to put it on a Kickstarter, and then it's 8-10 books later, and a whole company, and energy drinks, stuffed animals, action figures, animation. So it's grown a lot of legs. And I always say the coolest thing about this isn't even the fact that we have a lot of people that read it. It's that one of the guys in the book, he went through a really tough time a couple of years ago. He was going through a divorce, and work sucked and everything sucked. And I sent some fan art in the group chat, and I said, hey, like, somebody drew your character. And he called me. He was like, man, today was just a bad day. And then I opened it up, and someone took the time to draw my character, like that's
Right.
And they're based off of them, like the personality. When we started the game, I said, the character is you, but you with this ability, like pick a superhero you want to base yourself on. Caliber is the pain in the ass. He's the I don't believe in magic guy. So he's actually based off of a class in Warhammer where they are immune to any magical abilities, which as a DM was the biggest pain in the neck to try and balance. It was just, but of course, he's a DM too, so he wants to make my life hard. Boulder, I asked him what he wanted to be. He's like, imagine All Might if Eddie Murphy was All Might. And I'm like, okay, we can do that. And
Boulder.
Spectre just wanted to be, he's like, I just want to be like a warlock, necromancer character, fireballs, and give me a god cat. I'm like, and you're allergic to cats, so that's even better. And Reef is pretty simple because he is a tech nerd in real life. He's like, just make me an artificer. It was a really simple thing. It came together real quick. We had just so much fun, to be honest. Like we still talk about a lot of the dialogue, even like this page you're talking about. You have opened up here. I was play testing a lot of stuff early on, and I threw an enemy at them that was way too high level. And the character actually exists in real life. He's based off a guy that we all hated from GameStop. So
that's great.
Actually, the same guy, I played my first game of D&D with him, and I fell asleep during the session, and I told the guys, I'm never playing this again.
Wow.
This is boring and stupid.
Right.
And they begged me to play again. And the guy who's Caliber, he was like, I'll put together a campaign. I promise you'll have fun. And I did. We played for years after that. But so we turned this guy who we all kind of like hated into the villain, and I made him really powerful. And then he almost kills all of them. So I had to do a DM intervention the first game because there was no way, after spending so much time building the characters, that I was just going to let them die. I was like, you know what? I do believe in character death, but not in game one. I'm not going to like kill the entire party.
Right.
So, at the end of the book, there's a little scene where Samedi comes in, and he's supposed to be, a god of death. So he can also be the god of life. And, that was the whole thing. I was like, I'm not going to do this again. If I kill you a second time, you're actually dead. Right. But I spent 5 hours or 6 hours on every character. I'm not, it's 20 hours of my life. I'm not going to get back.
Yeah.
And we even said that earlier because I was laughing at the describing as like, why are we the basically describing everybody like talking or yelling like they're in an anime. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I literally have said that to my friends. I was like, guys, can we stop Narutoing and can we focus? Like I was like, excuse me, let's stop with the exposition and the close-eyed, expressionate eye panels and focus.
Yeah.
But it's also funny because I remember years ago, I had this friend who was doing like this assignment, just like, oh, I'm trying to write dialogue, and we're just sitting at the bar. And I was like, give me 2 hours. And we just filled up with such inane things. And she said her teacher was like, this is hilarious. However, I don't believe you. And I was like, well, give us another 2 hours and we'll see what we come up with. And we would just say some asinine stuff. So I think those real life is really the best sometimes when it comes to that.
It's like organic storytelling is what I call it,
Yeah.
Everybody is their own character. That's one piece of feedback I get from a lot of people is that the characters feel individual, and it's tough for one person to write 5 or 6 characters and give them their own voice. And I'm like, well, it's easy. It's actually their voice. It's just pre-recorded, and I love it because sometimes they'll argue with me. I never said that. I get to hit play. I'm like, yes, you did.
Recorded.
Yep.
What did GameStop dude do to engage your fury?
What didn't he do, Leo?
Well, I was actually his boss. I fired him before I actually started. I walked in to introduce myself. I had like 3 days of vacation left, and I had just moved. I walked in to the back room. The back door was open. He had just smoked a cigarette, so the outside back door was open. And he had the safe propped open because he didn't want to wait the 10 minutes at the end of the night to put the cash in there. It was like close to closing.
Right.
And he also didn't stop me when I walked in the back room. And so I walked out and I looked at him. I introduced myself. I'm like, yeah, I'm, Chris, I'm the new, manager here. And he was like, oh, hey, nice to meet you. And I was like, yeah, you're fired. And he's like, excuse me. I said, here's red flag number 1, red flag number 2, red flag number 3. And then my boss calls me 30 minutes later. He's like, you can't fire him immediately because technically you're not the boss yet. You're HR. And so I was like, so I had to do a whole write-up, and so we didn't start off on the best of terms.
No, I don't think so.
No,
yeah. He had the worst personal hygiene I've ever dealt with. And I actually had to have HR intervene and ask him to take a shower. He didn't do that. So customers would bring spray cans in, and I was like, you can't spray him when he works.
Oh, Lord. Like, you're not
I think this was my roommate in college. I'm just saying, I had one guy for a week in college. I had to put shampoo in his head when I walked by because he wouldn't shower, and he moved out about a week and a half after living with me because I just wasn't going to put up with it. I literally, he did not like that.
And he's like, why'd you bring candles? I'm like, dude, no offense, but you smell,
That's terrible.
That's a tough conversation to have.
No, it's not. No, the only tough way is, Jar, is how do you approach it? You could be like, you stink, or you could politely do a metaphor. I was like, your odor is quite odious, and people are complaining. So either you fix it, or you were a odagon. Choices. Roll for initiative. What are you going to do?
He once told me he was trained in the ancient art of being a samurai, and he was also very, very overweight. Like he had a stick in the store that he would use so he could stand up, because if he bent over, he couldn't stand up by himself. And then so he was a sumo samurai, which is why when he comes back later on, you see him as a sumo wrestler, because it's freaking hilarious. And he was like, he was a biker, he was a sumo wrestler, and he was a samurai warrior. So I had to give him all these different iterations. And his ability in this book is he the villain, he absorbs kinetic energy, but if he doesn't use it, it turns into fat. It's like calories. So the unused energy in his body will turn into excess weight. So every time you see him, he's a different size. Like he changes because he's either not using the energy or Viking. And then the magical energy or ethereal energy will burn that off him. Mm-hmm. So it's like it burns calories. It's like his weight loss is magic.
So did the only way that you were able to feed him was with a stick of deodorant? I'm just trying to create the narrative here.
I never fed that man. He doesn't need any food.
Okay.
What I did was I promoted and moved him to another store, so I didn't have to feed him.
Yeah, that's good management. Someone else's problem.
Well, I tried forever to get it to fix itself. It never fixed itself. So I said, "Hey, HR won't let me fire him. We'll move him."
Boom.
Yep.
And then darkness was lifted over the land, and peace reigned over GameStop for however long until the store was closed.
Then I immortalized him in a comic book.
Yes. So that what I've always said to people is that you have got to be careful of who you piss off that's a creative, because it's like that scene in Knight's Tale with the two. Remember, it's Chaucer, and then it was like, "What could you do?" This? I said, "I will vilify you, every wart, every pimple, every feature. I was naked for a day. You will be naked for an eternity." And I was like, "Damn straight, my dude. So, damn straight." Um,
It
so
must
I
have
mean,
been nice that he was a tall tale teller, because that made it easier to write him, though.
Oh yeah, dude wrote himself.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
It's
great.
like, well, yeah.
Is this isn't a PG show, is it?
Oh no, you can
Well,
curse as much as you
Okay,
goddamn want.
so I told you we played D&D with him, and he kept bugging us to come back and play this game. So we all agreed to play his game one more time. In this game, he gave us all level 20. We were epic level characters, but we all had special abilities, and you didn't roll. He rolled for you. It was really weird how he ran this game. And I was essentially He-Man with Mr. Fantastic. I had control of my entire body. I was super strong. I could change, like it was ridiculous. And then the guy who's Caliber, he had the power of mind. And we didn't really know each other that well. We were just newly friends because I had just moved to this area.
Mhm.
And in the middle of this battle in Eternia, which was, he just kept teleporting us to different places. And he had a DM character that was a godlike vampire that just always pissed us off. And so I got tired of the game. Brad was tired of the game. And I said, hey, you go before me. So what you're going to do is, since you have power of mind, and he has this impossible monster that we can't beat, I said, I want you to just daze the thing, which should be within the realm of capability because you have the power of mind. You're omnipotent in mind powers.
Right.
So daze him, mind control him to the point where he can't get distracted.
Right.
And Brad was like, yeah, what are you going to do? I said, you'll find out. I'm not giving away anything. Just you'll do it. So then, and this giant, like 4-legged monster beast thing. So Brad dazes it, and it comes to my turn. I said, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get behind it, and I'm going to grow to twice its size. And he's like, okay, you can do that. And he's like, you going to step on it? I said, no, I'm going to take my pants off. I'm going to fuck it. And then my dick is going to grow outside of its mouth, and I'm going to impale this thing, and we're going to be done. And he closes the book. He's like, we're going home. He's like, angels ascend from the heavens, kill all of you, and the game is over. And I said, I literally mind fucked the enemy into ending our game. He never played D&D with us again.
I just, well done, sir.
Bravo, sir. Bravo.
I don't.
We
I
literally
don't
called
know.
that move the mind fuck.
Leo, I don't know what more to say.
Good night, everybody.
All right, good night, everyone.
all right, cool,
President
thanks.
of Homebrewed Comics.
Welcome to
down
Homebrewed
there,
Comics.
Michael. There you go. Homebrewed Comics for El Presidente. There he is.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, get mind flayed, everyone. Like,
I want to remind everyone I was 75 at the time. I'm much older and much more mature. That move hasn't happened in a long time.
That's
awesome. That's awesome.
I just.
Speech.
Is that going to be the poll? Is that going to be the top
question?
video that you're going to put on stories, on Instagram stories and TikTok reels? That's going to be the chop bit.
That's the short.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm just, my brain's just
There's
like
my viral video.
I think my brain had to do that mental reboot, reset. I was like, okay, got everything reset. Okay, good, and we're on.
That's awesome.
So you guys are all fans of comics, obviously. I believe Dan, you'd mentioned from like a young age, that kind of thing. So the question that I have for you guys is, being fans, what are your favorites, and do you have like an ideal pitch? Like, let's say if you love Marvel and you're a Spider-Man fan, do you have like a story you'd be like, this is I think this would be great.
Start with anybody. Go, Chris.
Hands on top, man. I just said enough for a little bit.
That's true.
Yeah.
Dennis, you go first. I got to think about this.
Oh, geez.
No, I mean, I don't have an ideal pitch. I think, I tell everyone I'm a Byrne guy. So I grew up, idolizing John Byrne. My art style, it started with John Byrne. So for me, whenever I think about like the romance of comics and I go back into like comics in the old days and start yelling at clouds, for me, it always goes back to that time and era of Byrne and Claremont. And then I think anytime if you were to say of a pitch, it's really just not so much a pitch, but getting that the characters right. Because I feel like, and Wolverine being my favorite, he hasn't been right for goddamn decades. So for me, I always go back to like those days where he was so fucking cool, like everyone wanted to be him. And it wasn't
Yeah.
just because he was a savage, but he was just a cool motherfucker with that cool jacket with the wool and from Canada. He was just badass. So for me, it always just kind of goes back to that.
Okay. All right.
No, for favorite books, I mean, for sure, I'm a big Frank Miller fan. Like first off and foremost, like I'm a big Frank Miller fan. So like Sin City, the first Sin City that from Dark Horse Presents, the Hard Goodbye, to me is just poetry. And and I think that inner dialogue thing shows up in the Bigfoot Knows Karate comics. I mean, I definitely took that from how Frank writes. But as far as the perfect pitch, okay, I'm old as fuck. Okay, so there's a early 1980s movie from Disney that was called Condor Man. I don't know if y'all are familiar with this movie or not.
Yeah.
But
I remember.
you know it? Okay. So if for me, that's what I would want to do. I would want Marvel to let me, Disney, Marvel, whatever, let me write a 3-issue miniseries for Condor Man. That's what I would be interested in doing. Frankly, I couldn't give two shits about any of the rest of it. I like doing indie comics. I'm very much an indie guy. So, but if they let me write 3 issues of Condor Man that pick up right from the movie and they go into that next adventure, I'm in. I would do that. Well, I wouldn't say I'd do it for free because that's a lie, but I would do that. I would do that for sure. So, yeah, that's probably my perfect
That's
pitch.
cool.
Nice, man.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I think my favorite, storyline, which is sad because they're about to, ruin it for me. Age of Apocalypse, Joe Mad, the art, just I loved X-Men the 90s as it was. And like that reset, the Professor X, the whole storyline leading up to it, everything was, as a kid, it was really powerful to me. And I actually stopped reading comic books after they brought everything back to normal, and Wolverine loses his adamantium and all that like feral Wolverine stuff really killed me. The last good storyline I followed was that. I would say, growing up in that time period, I love Spawn and stuff, but like that era of X-Men, just maybe because I got in at the start of it and I loved the darkness of the world. And I loved how Cyclops and his brother were like evil, and you had Wolverine with one hand, but he's still like beating people with a stump and claws. Like that was just cool. I felt like the storytelling was really good. Even now, I have the compendium. I still go back and read it, and I still really love that storyline. But if I was going to pitch something, I'm like, Dan, I probably wouldn't pitch a comic book because a lot of modern characters, they're just dead. Like, I don't think they just keep trying to revitalize them, and it's not going to work. I think everyone just needs a break from some of the stuff, which is why people are going to indie. I would, I'm like Dan, I would actually love to do Biker Mice from Mars as a comic book and just take it, but make it more for like the people that grew up on like adults, like make it badass, I think that'd be fun. And if I was going to go the horror route, there's two things, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, just make it zany and fun and stupid. Like a B movie with a lot of blood and really interesting artwork. That would be fun. Like those two things, I've always loved both those properties, and I really think those would be a fun pitch for me. Plus, with Biker Mice from Mars, I could assign them each to one of my friends, and we could play D&D with it.
Are they having some kind of resurgence? Because there's toys at my local store where
I think they're doing another cartoon.
Oh, no kidding!
Yeah,
I wonder if it's going to be any good.
Well, let's see.
Probably.
Well, I mean, Jar, everything kind of comes back. I mean, listen, man, they're doing Street Sharks again. I mean,
are they?
They're
They got
doing
Street Shark,
Street Sharks.
they have Street Shark Funkos now too.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, well, time to
They
test out
realize
both
nostalgia
toys.
sells. Like the people with money are the kids from the '90s right now, and they will buy whatever you throw at them.
Yeah.
Spider-Man proved that.
So, Carrie was asking, actually, we wanted to make sure we covered this as well. How was the Kickstarter process for you? Did you come in strong or take a bit of trial and error to reach where you are now? And I guess, so I read you guys had 3 successful Kickstarters in the past. So what did you learn from those? And what do you attribute your successes on those to?
A lot of questions, Leo. Let them do it one
I
at a
know.
time.
I'm throwing them all at once.
I didn't
Do
know
you?
we could give all our
So
questions at once.
I would say this might be an individual one because we've all done different amounts and we've all probably learned different things. Um, I think. Do you want me to take the lead on this one? 'Cause I think I have the most
Yeah,
Kickstarters.
totally.
I
Sure,
think
go for it.
I launched my first one in 2020. And it was before I met any of these guys. It was before I had an Instagram account. I had drawn the book, and Spectre, the character, the player, said, "Hey, put it on Kickstarter." I said, "What's Kickstarter?" And the words he said were, "Yeah, you just put stuff up there and people throw money at it." And I said, "Okay." No idea what I'm doing. I do a little bit of research. I put issue 1 up there, and it failed because I wanted $2,000. I only needed 500. I did no marketing. A guy with a marketing degree did no marketing. I did all the design, and but we made more than I needed. Just the research I did said ask for $2,000. So that's what I did. Wound up right after it failed, getting the money from a friend of mine as much as I like what I needed. He just said, "Hey, like whatever you do, you put your mind to, you're successful. So I'm going to fund this." Facebook, literally, he's like, he got into pot fields real early, so he has a lot of money. He's like, "I'm on a private jet. Here's $500. Get your book done."
Good for
I
him.
gave that book for free to everyone that backed it. It had like 32 backers, I think, is what we had, which I was really proud of looking back at.
Wow.
With zero marketing, just no Instagram. I made an Instagram in the last week because I was like, oh, I need to tell people about this. It was just, it was a failure, but I don't really look at it that way because I learned so much from failing that first time. And I still got the book made. I got it in everyone's hands. And, you know, a lot of those people actually still come back and back the book, 8 books later. And I think I'm at 8 or 9 Kickstarters and 2 Indiegogos at this point, and only 1 failed. And that was the first one. And I ate that. Everything else is successful.
Which do you prefer, Kickstarter or Indiegogo?
I like Kickstarter now more. I did like Indiegogo's platform better, but if Kickstarter would do where they take the money up front, it would fix all the problems with the thing I have against Kickstarter is the financial side, because it doesn't collect till the end, and then you have 5 days to scramble, and if you don't check your email, you don't even know who didn't pay. And a lot of these people think they pay up front, and they don't, because a lot of people still aren't used to Kickstarter. So I prefer Indiegogo's payment, but Kickstarter as a platform has a bigger install base, and it's just a little bit more user friendly. But the second Kickstarter is the reason we do live launches, because I launched that one while I had COVID and I was sick. I could barely even see. Forgot to submit the campaign for approval. Did a whole posting on Instagram, book is live, and then had to take everything down because it couldn't go live. Well, I'm on the phone with some of my friends. Dennis was there. I said, "Hey, we're going to do a live launch real quick." We get on Instagram live and we just start sending it out to everybody. And that one funded, I think, in like an hour or so. And then that, because it worked, because people were joining that live and it funded real quick, that just continued. And I think the next thing we learned was between me and Dan. That it was my 4th or 5th, I think it was 4th issue. Like I said, 4 or 5. Dan puts his data on Instagram, and I'm like, crap, I'm launching the same day, the same time. So instead of trying to fight, we weren't collaborating at this point. He was putting his second book out. We were friends though, and I was like, friends can talk. I said, hey Dan, what do you think about doing a joint launch? You don't see anybody doing that, and a lot of people in indie think, oh, that's competition. Well, Bigfoot Knows Karate might be an action adventure story just like mine, but we're two different areas. Like I see us, like when I go to the comic book store, I don't walk out with one book, and we launched it. We funded in like 15 minutes, and each of us had like a $2,000 goal too. So it wasn't like $500, we raised quite a bit of money on that one between the two of us. We did an awesome job. And honestly, like I would never be afraid about dual launching with somebody ever again because of it. And now, like I said, now I'm at like 13. I don't even know how many we're at now with C.R.I.T as far as like the trade paperbacks and the dual books and all that stuff. But Kickstarter is a beast. The one thing I give to everybody is do your homework, don't launch too soon. And it's a better option with indie comics to push your date back and do it when you're ready than to rush it. You're either going to not promote enough, you're not going to get enough eyes, you're going to fail to fulfill on time, or you're going to sit there and wonder why nobody's paying attention to your book. If you don't take a month to promote at least, you're struggling. If you even look at our last few campaigns, we moved some dates around, and Dan had like 3 months to promote, and he had like 200, 150. What was the number you had on your followers?
Oh, on the notifications? Yeah, about 150, something like that.
Yeah, like that was awesome. He had the time to do that. Like I think building your notification list and utilizing that really helps. Just don't rush it. There's no need to. This is indie comics. No one's telling you have to get it done tomorrow. The deadline is you. I'm getting off my soapbox. Dan, you can go next.
Yeah, no, Kickstarter's cool because, like for me, like I started making comics in 2007, and like there was Kickstarter, I guess, by the time I started wrapping up my time in comics around 2012. Kickstarter was becoming a thing, but like I never touched it. Social media was totally different. I came back to comics during the pandemic, and and started making comics then. And it's such a cool distribution tool for indie comic creators. I mean, before it was like go to convention after convention after convention, incurring costs, hotel costs, table costs, travel, whatever. And to be able to stay at your house, put your book up online, and see what happens. I mean, yes, but Chris is completely right. Marketing your book, a minimum of a month. Like for what we've learned is you gotta book your podcasts and get your press releases out there and all the things that have to be done with it. That's like 3 months out that you need to be booking podcasts. Even it's crazy because there's so many things that you need to do, and you need to be dropping those breadcrumbs about the campaign. Little bits of art here and there from well ahead of time, because you want to build a following, you want to get people excited, you want to get people jazzed. The live launches are so cool because it's not just you're up on camera just talking. You invite your friends in, you invite other creators, you invite other people with other followings. And when you go live on Instagram, what's really great is everybody who watches you gets an alert, and then the person who jumps into your live, all their followers get an alert. And pretty soon you got four different creators in there, or podcasters, or whatever. Okay. And they're all bringing their audiences with them. Now you cross-pollinated your audiences, and so, and cross-marketed with each other. And so now everybody's hearing about that campaign, and it's getting people excited. When we do launches, we have 300 people watch our launch parties. This is, so it's really effective. We coined the term Valencia speed for years ago when Dennis funded. What did you fund? Like $1,000 in 7 minutes, something like that.
Yeah, my first campaign was good.
Yeah, 7,000. 7 minutes. Just it's incredible. These launch parties and just having a strong following on your social media and really pushing your product out there. I mean, it's just something that, like Chris says, he kind of fell into the live launch, but it's been such an amazing tool, and it's really worked, and he perfected it, and like we've just taken that ball and ran with it, and it's just been a great way to launch a campaign and get funded fast, because you're going to hit lulls. You're going to hit lulls in the campaign, and and so to come out swinging hard, you got a better chance of doing what you need to do, and it's great. Love Kickstarter.
Yeah, that first 48 hours is crucial.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I mean, we've done, we did the C.R.I.T. Campaign in, what was that, in May? We did in June, we did Bigfoot Knows Karate 3, and now we've got Celestial Knight versus Caspian Porter, with 3 days left on the campaign. And it's, I mean, that book is kick-ass. I mean, Dennis, you tell him, because I mean, it's a great book.
Yeah, and just at least going back to the question, I think the things I learned from Kickstarter, at least from this campaign and the ones previously that led up to this, Kickstarter's hard.
Yeah.
3 years ago, even funding in 7 minutes, it felt like great. And then Kickstarter's changed so much. There's so much opportunity. So many people are on there. Now you got professionals on there. You have publishers on there. It's so different, and the competition is fierce. So you got to prepare. Just like Chris said, do your homework, just like Dan did. You get a thing, you're in the media, you're doing that, laying that foundation down months beforehand. So it's so much harder. And you could say, hey, these guys have done so many great Kickstarters, but it's still extremely hard. It almost felt like it didn't get any easier. It just kept leveling up and harder because the competition is so much harder and harder. The other thing is, I look at rewards. How do you beat rewards and do something different than everyone else? You're seeing a lot of cookie cutter stuff, and then what can you do that's different than them or that sticks out from them as far as reward tiers, those kind of stuff. I at least look at differently for this campaign. And then the last thing is like the media part of it. There's so much more, just like as far as laying the foundation. But then what works and what doesn't work. What shows work, what don't work, what audience works, what doesn't work, what posts work, what doesn't work. Like, there's so much stuff to it that it's such a beast of a thing. It doesn't just stop with making a comic and you call it a day and you throw it up there. There's so much more. And I know at the end of every campaign, you always just want to take a step back and know you emptied your clip, and you put everything out there, and you got every single dollar and every single back, and you did everything you could to do it. And you can look yourself in the mirror and feel good about yourself. So much more to it. On the campaign right now, Celestial Knight versus Caspian Porter, our notifications, I think we were at 70. Right now we're 55 backers, and we have 2 days to go. We have till Friday, 8:30 to call it a day. I reached out to a couple of people I know who are going to back it. So I know our goal at least is to finish strong, finished above 60. Would love to hit over 2,000. Our next reward for that, we'll add an extra page in the book. We'd love to, show the dynamics between the sidekicks. So the story, is my character, Celestial Knight, his dog, character Jeremy, and his dog Norman, and how they encounter a brief encounter with Caspian Porter and his sidekick Kirby. And it's a 20-page comic with 8 pages of fun filler. So if anything, it's really just finishing the campaign strong. If you like adventure, sci-fi, a little bit of Han Solo, and a little bit, if you love superheroes, like this is the book for you. It's very lighthearted. And we have some great pencils by Juan Fletes. I'm doing the inking and the coloring, and Drew did a great script with a lot of humor and a lot of adventure to it. So it's the third campaign from our, triad. Chris led it off, followed by, Dan, and we're rounding it out, as far as the 3, campaigns for Homebrewed Comics.
Now, since your campaign's going right now, what's your favorite reward that you've got going?
Well, there's probably 2, and one's kind of selfish. The first one would be, we have Homebrewed Zero. So Homebrewed Zero, as we discussed with you guys earlier, is a 36-page comic, has a hollow foil cover, only $250 made. It's exclusive, so if you back all 3 campaigns, you get the code for the Homebrewed Zero. 36 pages, there's 6 to 8 pages from each creator from Homebrewed Comics, plus a special guest. Mo Lubasan is including his 6 pages on a nice touching story. It's actually a very fantasy story, but there's more to it. Hopefully you guys will find out more about that as the story unfolds when we start talking about Homebrewed Zero. But to get that, you need to back all 3 campaigns and get the code. So that's a cool one where you could back all 3 campaigns. You get Homebrewed Zero, and it's going to be a kick-ass cover by Lewis Thomas. And if you guys don't know him, Draw, Erase, Repeat. His pencils are tight. Just he's one of those guys on Instagram. Like when he posts, it's a thing. So check out if you can back that. So that's definitely my top one. And then selfishly, the last tier is you get a commission from me. So I draw traditionally and digitally. If you back that, you get the book obviously, and then you can get a commission for myself. And I love drawing for the community. Indie supports indie, so that's one of my sayings. I would love to do a commission for those who can back the book, whether traditional, digital, and if you want Spider-Man fighting Wolverine, that's cool. I would love for you to ask commission a traditional one of Celestial Knight versus Caspian Porter because I think that'd be the tits.
Cool.
Yep.
Very cool, man.
Very nice. Seriously. Yeah. Okay.
So back onto Homebrewed number 0 there. Let's get into that.
Dan, give him the pitch. These are the coupons.
What was so there's actual coupons. Oh, that's
I know that we actually so they're gonna get coupons in the with their books. So we did the first book. You got the coupon in C.R.I.T. The what is it, the pink one? You got the C.R.I.T. coupon when you get the book in. And then when you did Bigfoot Knows Karate, you get the blue one, and then Celestial Knight, Caspian Porter, the yellow one, or gold one, or whatever it is. So we have the 3 coupons. So since the campaign's already over for C.R.I.T. and for Bigfoot Knows Karate, you can go ahead and back all 3 books on this campaign. Okay. Nice. And so you can get all the 3 coupons with that too. And there's going to be the coupon code on there. 3-digit code. You take all 9 digits, you go over to homebrewedcomics.com, go to our store, put in the numbers, then you can buy this book. Okay. And like Dennis said, it's going to be a 36-page book, holofoil cover by Louis Thomas, which, I mean, he's done covers for me. He's done covers for Chris. He colors C.R.I.T. I mean, he's in the gang, I mean, we all love his work. And I mean, especially if you dig that 90s Jim Lee vibe, I mean, he really hits that hard. And then, it's all original content. This is not rerun stories that we ran somewhere else. These are original stories for this book. So, I mean, for me, the Bigfoot Knows Karate story in there is like it's a morality play. It's not just action. There's a situation of friction where Benny, my Bigfoot, there has to make some serious choices about what kind of creature he truly is. We get to delve into things that we don't get to delve into in the rest of the books. Like Chris and C.R.I.T., he's got all the animal creatures in his story that they're taking the lead in that story. And so, I mean, so everybody gets to show just a little bit extra in, to their universes and to their greater stories. And, for me, like, we're always trying to peel back that onion of Bigfoot in every story that we do, whether it's the main storyline or like the prequel books that we did with Hanagon. We're always trying to peel back that layer a little bit. And I give that, I say something that like Dennis said a moment ago about Wolverine. You don't want to know everything about Wolverine. You know what I mean? You want to know, I love that mysterious berserker. And that's what we're trying to do with Bigfoot. And so we get to show a little bit more of that, though, in the Homebrewed Zero. And I think that's going to be exciting for our readers, that they get that exclusive book that's something extra. It's going to be rad.
Is it just the first 250 people to put in the code and buy the book? That's it? It's done?
If we get, if we finish out with more backers than 250, we'll make that work, obviously, because everybody who puts their coupons in and get there. If we hit under 250, we're going to just max it out at 250 books. That'll be it. And then we'll take those with us, to some cons and things like that as well. But really, truly, we're trying to make sure that everybody who has the coupons, they're going to get covered for sure.
Nice.
That's the most important thing.
That's good to know.
Yeah, I'm excited for mine. Excited from just being like the animals and the little sidekick book. My daughter's actually going to color it. So I'm going to draw it and she's going to color it.
better.
My daughter's arguably a better artist than me, and so we've been talking about collaborating for a long time. And I mentioned, hey, like, do you want to color 6 pages with me? And she just lost her mind and started showing me all the new work she's working on and all this stuff. And
That's awesome.
I don't get to see her that often because her mom and I got divorced, and this is something every time I see her, she's like, "How are the pages coming? What's the story? I want to know." And so we recently went on a little trip, and for 7 hours in the car, she's coming up with ideas for the animals and all this fun stuff. And even if one person gets the book, it's going to be really cool for me to share that with her.
No,
Mhm.
that's friggin' awesome.
Seriously.
Yeah. I wish I had an ounce of talent for art or anything. My God.
Yeah, we
Dennis,
can share
what's
the
your
October
story
stuff.
about? Oh yeah, the October thing.
Good call.
Nicely done.
October 15th, we have 3 books hitting retail. We have Crit 1, we have Bigfoot 1, and we have Caspian Porter 1. All available right now to order. So if you go to your local comic book shop, you can request all 3 of those titles. We're distributed through Filbo Distribution, and the easiest way you can tell them to go to filbodistribution.com, but we do have a link on our website, so that's homebrewedcomics.com. Takes you right so if you have a favorite store that you go to, they can sign up and start ordering now. The cutoff is September 1st, right? So we have about a month and a week. So 4 or 5 weeks left to order the books. And we also have come after that, we have monthly releases all the way through 2027 already planned. So we have a lot of stuff. We actually had a meeting last night. We were talking about Q4, and we're like, we got to cut back because we have way too much going on. In the creative world, it's good to be too busy, and then you're like, but I want to be busier. I want to make more. I want to do more, and it's a great time for Homebrewed, is what I'm going to say.
That's
I
cool.
think the
We have some
collaboration
very
this year, bringing everybody together, getting this group, this band together. The cool thing that I like to tell people is we're all friends, but we all come at things differently, and we all have different talents, and they lend so well to each other. And I've been in indie comics now for 5 years, and it's tough to find people that don't have an ego, don't have it. It's like every book is a homebrewed book, from Bigfoot to Crit to every book we treat like, Dennis doesn't write or draw Crit, but if we're promoting Crit, that's his book too. He is putting that out there because he's part of Homebrewed. And that's what is important when you're working in a group like this. And that's what's going to really drive us when we get those books on shelves. Because I got to tell you, I'm going to be doing a bunch of in-store events. And on the month when Celestial Night's in store, Dennis is going to be down in South Carolina. I'm going to be in Raleigh, North Carolina. And we're going to be promoting that book. When Bigfoot hits shelves, it's going to be the same thing, because we want people to read quality books. And I might be biased, don't get me wrong, but kind of like what we have.
You should. It's quality writing and great art, and it's fun, like what comic books are supposed to be.
That's when we first got together, we have a list of things that we just don't want in comics, and the one thing we all agreed we want is fun.
Yeah. It just felt like a good time for a yay.
It's supposed to be escapism, that's the big thing about comics. It's supposed to be escapism.
All right, Leo, should we be wrapping up, or can we continue?
No, we should.
We should.
We're at that time. So one thing we like to ask, all our guests is, when you're not creating excellent comics, what do you do in your downtime? What do you dork out about? Do you have some odd collections? Do you play video games, or do you just devote 200% towards your craft? And we'll start with Dan.
Oh, I am very boring. I'm the first one to admit that. I don't watch a lot of TV except when I'm trying to go to bed, and I just watch reruns of Seinfeld. I'm trying to finish Severance. It's fantastic, and I'm really enjoying that show. But I don't play video games, and I like to hang out with my wife, and just hang out, and we play this stupid movie game where we take, it's like 6 degrees of separation, or Kevin Bacon, where you take like one
Yeah.
actor over here and one actor over there, and but it's like Humphrey Bogart and Yahoo Serious, and try and put them together and meet in the middle and see if you can connect the movies. So like that's the kind of stupid shit I do. Beyond that, it's work and working on the books, and just having fun creating comics. I love the process, and that's my big hobby to do.
Nice. Yahoo's serious. Time to split the atom. Where's my chisel?
Yeah, I don't know why that was the name that came to me, but that was
Yeah.
as odd as I could possibly get.
Well,
So Bobcat
he's in the
Goldthwait.
atmosphere. I quoted him just last week, so it's yeah.
See, there was kismet. Then I was supposed
Yep.
to do that. So great.
Indeed.
Cool.
Dennis.
Yeah, I want to say I'm just bored, just as boring. But if I'm not, like, I call myself Team No Sleep because most of my work happens when my family's sleeping. If they're not sleeping, it's the way it works here is, when it's family time, it's family time. So I have two older boys, they're teens and they're demanding. I have a wife who loves spending time with me for who knows why, but we spend a lot of time together, watching a lot of true crime. We always joke we're just trying to find new ways to kill each other, just watching true crime. But if it's not, other than that, the only time I'll draw is when everyone's asleep, and I'll hit the pad from like 10 to 1 in the morning and just try and get some work done there. But you can tell I love comics. I collect, so for me, I love collecting Golden Age, Bronze Age, and I just love that part of collecting. Just having a nice long boxes of stuff where when I just need my comic therapy, I could sit on my floor, open a long box, and just leaf through it and take out issues and just totally just immerse myself, out of this real world into that world of comics. So even though it's not producing comics, it's still in this world of comics where I'm just, as I say, comic therapy.
Nice. And definitely not wishing anything upon you, but say if you had to run out of the house, what 2 books are you grabbing?
I've thought of that, and I actually brought it to my wife and said, this room, there's quite a lot of money in this room, and she didn't really realize how much money. I said, we probably should get insured, and she's like, why? And I kind of gave her the ballpark. This is probably what the room is worth about now, and she was like, no way. I said, yeah, I probably should get insured. I would probably grab the Hulk 181. I mean, I saved forever to like, that's my grail. Like, oh, I've got to get a Hulk 181. Finally got it.
You, man.
Yeah, it's not a good grade, but I don't care about grades. I just want it on my wall. So I'm not about. I like shopping reader copies. I'll go in eBay and put reader copy, and as long as I have the book to read it, I'm happy as a pig in shit.
Yeah.
So that Hulk 181 probably something I would be the first one I grab, and then I'm not sure. There's so many cool things that I would want to grab. I don't know. It probably like maybe on this wall here is all the stuff I've drawn, the covers I've drawn. I might grab something there that you know what it is? I did a blank sketch cover of Spawn and my character Celestial Knight fighting each other. I had it signed by
Nice.
Todd McFarlane, and Todd McFarlane wrote on it "nice art," and that would probably be the one I would probably grab, just because he gave me the endorsement of nice art. I think that's pretty cool.
The Todd father? Oh, yeah.
He did, yeah.
Absolutely.
Chris, how about you?
I have more hobbies than I know what to do with.
He does.
So
He really does.
I'll start at the top. I work out a lot. I've been working out since I was very young. I was in wrestling, football, but I was the biggest dork in school on top of that. So I was the kid on the wrestling team that went home and, read comic books and played Final Fantasy. And now I paint and build Warhammer miniatures. I play Warhammer. Henry Cavill is like my idol. So every day I dedicate a little bit of time to at least one or two of my side hobbies besides drawing, because I have to draw 42 books for Crit, and I don't want to burn myself out. So I wake up every morning. My tablet literally is on my bed next to me. I draw for the first hour of every day. That is, I've been doing that for years now. an hour before bed, an hour in the morning. So I know every day I get 2 hours. And actually, I got that from Todd because early on I was watching a video and he said he was working 2 different jobs to take care of his family. And as long as he got an hour a day to do his art, he was happy. And so, I live by myself and I can dedicate 2 hours. But I also I work and I have 86 employees, so work does keep me busy. I have a minimum of 10 pages a day that I read in my book. This is the current book I'm reading. Uh, Last year, I was mad at myself because I read a lot of comic books, but I stopped reading novels, and I really like a lot of my ideas come from science fiction. And I got into Warhammer last year. I've been into Warhammer for a long time, but I started building them and I started getting into some of the lore and the stories, and it got me away from the new garbage Star Wars that's out. So I was really happy finding these books that have been around forever, and I'm like, oh, these are stories I can really get into. So I read a minimum of 10 pages a day, draw for 2 hours a day, and I also play a lot of video games with my friends on either Monday, Wednesday, or Friday. We have one game night a week where all of us girlfriends and wives don't care. We just we either play a game called Helldivers or Risk of Rain, or there's a number of games we play together. Just to because we don't get to hang out. We all live on different sides of the state or different parts of the country, and we dedicate about 2 to 3 hours a week where we just that's our hangout time. And
That's
what else? I'm looking through my
that's
room.
really healthy, by the way.
Yeah.
Yes. I think it's really good to be able to maintain relationships as you get older. It's very hard to do that.
Yes.
And we started this years ago. Just we would talk and say, hey, what day is everybody free this week? And we kind of know the schedule now. It's like Monday, Wednesday, or Friday. And if it's bad weather on the weekend, we might make an exception and play. But we've all gone through some really hard times, and I will say, there have been days where my friends are like, "Hey, what's going on? Are you okay?" Because I went through a divorce last year, and another guy went through a divorce a couple of years ago. And it's like, "Hey, do you get in and kill bugs?" Yeah, I do. Thank you. So, and we don't really, you don't have to ask, "How are you doing?" It's just that nice,
Mm-hmm.
"Hey, I'm going to take some time and do something we used to do." It was a joke, but we laughed. There's a game coming out at the end of the month, and everyone said, "Well, we're taking off work, and we're all gonna play this one game." And we all told our wives and girlfriends, "Hey, don't expect to hear from me this day because I'm gonna order a pizza and get energy drinks, and we're gonna just geek out on this one video game." And we're all 40-year-old men doing this, and it's okay. It's healthy. It's like so we're not going to the bar. We're not doing stupid stuff. We're just playing some video games for a day, and I think that's fun. Keeps us connected and all that.
Awesome. What's the game?
That is Grounded 2. It's like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids with a survival game. And you just fight these giant bugs that want to kill you, and you have to build different buildings, and you have to collect these different resources to make new buildings that are stronger. And I'm my character in every game is named Grog, Groggggg, as long as I can make it. And they laugh because anytime someone asks, "Well, how is Chris as a player?" And the first survival game we played, everyone was way far ahead. They had armor, they had swords, and I'm running around half naked. And they didn't see me for a long time. I'm like, "Chris, what are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm punching a rock." And they're like, "Why?" I'm like, "Well, I need rock." And they're like, "Why don't you build something?" I'm like, "I don't want to build anything. I just want to punch things." And so my job is to kill everything. They build everything. They build me all my weapons, and I just go out and murder everything. That's how I play.
Very nice.
That's awesome.
Nice. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you guys. Really, we appreciate you all three coming on. Shooting shit, telling us about all these books. And obviously, if any Kickstarters are released or whatnot, let us know, and by we I mean Carrie, will also cover it, as that is what she typically does on the show as well. But yeah, honestly,
Awesome.
let us know if anything new comes out. We'd be more than glad to promote it. And are any of you attending any conventions where people would be able to meet you? And as we're coming to the end of it, where's the best way for people to interact with you on social media?
Dan, do you have any cons left this year?
Yeah, I do. I'm going to my website right now. Okay, so yeah, no, in September I'm going to be at excuse me, I'm going to be at Eastern RimCon out in South Houston area, Baytown. And then in October, I'm also going to be back in the Houston area for Bedrock City Comic Con. And then in November, I'll be at the Casa Comics Art San Antonio. I'll be doing that in San Antonio on a Saturday. So that'll be a lot of fun. Plus, we all are working on we have signings set up for the distribution launches. So there'll be some opportunities to meet the Homebrew gang for sure. Oh, and then also, wait a second, and we're going to North Carolina, aren't we? We're going to North Carolina, guys. So the whole Homebrew team is going to be together in November. Shit, I forgot about that for a second. That's going to be badass. I need to add that to my website. Yeah, we like Chris and Dennis and I, we've met, but we've never met Drew. So this is going to be badass. And y'all have known Drew longer than I have, so this will be a lot of fun for everybody to finally get to meet up and hang out. But we've hung out in Baltimore and Heroes Con and stuff like that, so it'll be great to do this one more time.
Will Homebrewed number 0 be out by then?
Yeah,
No,
I think so.
no,
Maybe.
That's a maybe.
TBD.
Possibly.
TBD, Derby. TBD.
John, I don't know if it'll be when. That's early November. Good possibility. That's November 8th and 9th. And then
guys, TBD.
Goals, right? We need that'd be great to get that done.
Dennis, what about you?
I just have the Rock Hill Comic Show, and that'll be in August. That'd be the first time I'm attending that. And then, of course, I'll be hitting, North Carolina with these fellas in November, which I can't wait. I actually put the request in at work just today, so it should be a good time.
Yeah.
Sweet. And what about you, Chris?
So I have I'm a guest at Joe Lanta, which is the big GI Joe Con this year. So that's September 26th, 27th, 28th. I'm also going to be at Greensboro Comic Con September 20th. So I'm going to be in Greensboro, North Carolina 1 week, Atlanta the next week. Actually, that's going to be a busy week. I go from Greensboro, North Carolina, down to Orlando, Florida, up to Atlanta. And then October, I'm on a secret con that has not been announced yet, but I am a special guest at that one. That's another toy con. I have made a niche in toy cons somehow. I did one, and now I'm getting invited to a lot of them, which is freaking awesome because I love toys. And then North Carolina Comic Con in November. So that's as soon as I get the go-ahead to announce the con I'm doing in October. I can say it's in Tennessee, so I'll be in Tennessee in October. But they've asked, other than location and saying it's in October, I cannot say anything else. It's a hush-hush thing.
Okay.
Good.
Which is kind of cool because, yeah, that's the first time someone said, hey, do you want to be a part of this secret con and be a special guest? Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, everybody listening,
one last thing before we go. Sorry, I forgot this. We talked about Indiegogo. I guess we'll announce this here. After Caspian Porter and Celestial Knight do end, we are going to launch. It'll be an open page on Indiegogo, which is a second chance. It'll be all 3 books and any catch up for Homebrewed. It's nothing we're going to be doing massive amounts of promotion for. It's more just going to be for second chance. Because we've been promoting for almost 6 months now. And even so, we'll have someone that comes in and says, "Oh, I didn't hear about that." And so we built an Indiegogo. We'll probably launch the week after Caspian ends. Again, it won't be something that we're pumping through social media and beating people over the head with, but we'll do some Facebook ads and just try to get it out there. So any second chance people that say, "Oh man, I missed that," well, go to Indiegogo and you can still get the coupons. You're not going to miss out on Homebrewed 0. We do want to make sure everyone gets in on that. So just putting that out there for everybody.
Okay.
Officially announcing it here.
Woo!
Cool.
Splash
Well,
pages.
when you have the links, definitely share them, and we will share them on our side as well.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
give. I have the sign up
Thank
right
you.
now. I'll send it to Cat here in a minute.
Okay.
All right, Leo, you want to give the rundown for
Yeah. So
the
when you guys are ready to pop on out, there's a red button on the bottom. If you click on that, just allow it to finish the upload, because we record everybody individually so that we can chop it up afterwards. But if you have any issues, we can send you a link afterwards. It'll just let me know that that there was an issue during the upload, and we'll send you a link. So no worries if something goes awry.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Thank y'all so much.
absolutely.
thank you guys for coming.
Thank you. And before you guys go, just in case anybody would want to, like, what's the best way for anybody to reach y'all individually on social media?
Oh.
You know,
Danomite139 on Instagram and TikTok and Blue Sky, and yeah, that's the place. Danomite139.
And for me, Dr. Valencia Team No Sleep on Instagram, and of course, homebrewedcomics.com. You'll find all of us.
I was going to ask you about the Team No Sleep shirt, but now I understand it.
Exactly. Yeah, because I don't draw till everyone's in bed.
there you go.
For me, Instagram at Homebrewed Comics is the easiest way to find me. I have a Twitter or X or whatever it's called. I have Facebook, but Instagram is where I do most of my stuff. So just go there. It also on my link page is everything you could ever need for Homebrewed. I update that thing pretty often. And then homebrewedcomics.com. We do have a merch store. We have digital books on there. We have physical comics on there. And we officially have t-shirts and hoodies finally, because I deleted the store by accident and had to rebuild it. It was late night and I was multitasking and it didn't work out well for me. Homebrewedcomics.com is where you're going to find everything. And Drew isn't here, but I give him a shout out because that man does keep our website updated. He keeps our newsletters going. He is the guy behind the scenes that takes care of everything, and I love him for it. So I wish he was here, but he is taking care of kids. So definitely give him a shout out for running our website and making it look pretty.
Yeah.
Awesome. And we got a lot of links in the show notes up above and down below, depending on where you're watching or listening to us. So if you missed any of that, just check the show notes, and I'm sure you can find it there.
Absolutely.
And I want to thank you all again for joining us tonight. It's an absolute pleasure, and we look forward to seeing more from you.
Absolutely, guys.
Thank you guys for having us on. It was awesome.
Have a good night.
Yeah.
Bye.
1, 2, 3.
Very cool.
All right, guys.
Yep.
I think again we just got to jump straight into
no banter.
No banter, just business. So I'm watching you, Pondy.
No banter.
No banter, just the news.
Okay.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Variant Watch. So put on your swim trunks because we got a lot to go over. So starting off, Mr. Pond, if you will.
Yeah, hold on 1 second.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
2 seconds.
There we go.
All right. Ooh. So as we know that there is going to be a new Black Cat series next month. So already in issue 1 will mean variant covers. So this is the new ongoing series from writer G. Willow Wilson and artist Gleb Melkinoff, which includes main covers by, I believe, the first one is an Adam Chu. Oh, not Adam Chu, Adam Hughes. Yep. So we have
Black Cat. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we've got others. We've got others there. So we've got variants by, and again, this is in no particular order. Derek Chu, Simone DeMeo, Ji Hoon Lee, Peach Momoko, J. Scott Campbell. So let's just go through each of them there. Like, look at that. Those are just gorgeous. Like, just Leo, hit them one by one.
Bam.
That's Simone DeMeo, and then I think the one that was previously there was Derek Chu. That's Ji Hung Lee. Yep, that's Peach Momoko. I'd recognize that
Yeah.
style anywhere.
Yep, and I believe that's the last one.
No Campbell? Oh.
I think Campbell might have been one of the ones we saw earlier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think we saw Hughes first, and then Campbell. So that's what it was. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, so these are all that are available for the Black Cat series. So if you like what you see, hey, talk to your local LCS. And
Yeah.
then next up, and I know Leo's excited about these. DC Marvel crossover, the Deadpool Batman variant covers.
Hmm.
So we've already seen that September we're going to have Deadpool Batman by Zeb Wells and Greg Capullo, and then we will have Batman Deadpool, which will be by, I believe, Grant Morrison and Dan Mora. So there's one shots published by each company. So both one will have the main story between Deadpool versus Batman, and then the backups will be other Marvel DC team ups and showdowns. So of course, those are going to get their own variants. So we've just got, oh my god, there's just so many. Like that right there, I
That's
believe.
cool.
Yeah, that's well, it's Captain America and Wonder Woman, and I believe that's I believe that's Terry Dotson, if I'm correct. That style is pretty great either way. But look at that, that's gorgeous. And then we have other ones. So Leo,
Yeah, that was Dodson.
yeah, and that's Art Germ. That's
Mhm.
that's Magic against Catwoman.
Oh,
Well,
that's
that's Steve McNiven. So that's Wolverine and Batman. So that's awesome. And that's Peach Momoko again.
yeah.
So that's Elektra and Batgirl. That's Cassandra Cain Batgirl. Oh my
Yep,
God. Look
that's the
at those.
last one.
Yeah. I mean, God, look at that. I mean, just top notch talent, everybody. Just whew, good Lord. All right. And then last but not least, in terms of stories,
Would that be Peach Momoko's first at DC?
maybe.
I think it might be. Huh. I'll have to
Yeah,
look into that.
maybe. Yeah. But, and then last but not least, then we have, just in case people didn't already love his work already, Marvel announced that J. Scott Campbell will be launching what is called the Just Spectacular collection. So these are
Hmm.
J. Scott Campbell putting his signature spin on Marvel's most iconic heroes in covers spreading all over Marvel collection titles. So, just looking at them, I mean, the characters need no name. You know who they are. But each of the variants will be available in sleek, logo-free Virgin editions. So these are the first 10 of them. There are going to be about 28. So of course we'll show them when they come up. But I mean, look at these. These are just stellar. Like I don't know which one I like the most, but good Lord.
Oh,
Well, yeah.
yeah. I remember that. That's the outfit she was wearing on that one cover of Amazing Spider-Man there, where she's on the
601.
couch. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. I own that issue. Yeah, exactly what that's been so heavily referenced. And then you got, of course.
Yeah. Black Cat. Yeah.
Yep. But 28 of these overall, everybody. So this is just the first 10. So
Actually, it looks like we got 13 of them.
no, it doesn't matter, Leo. The point is that it's not the full 28. But either way. But yeah,
Fine.
like I said, these
Oh
characters,
wow.
yep, these characters need, you know who they are. So they need no definition, but gorgeous.
It's interesting to see his take on each of them.
Yeah, well, he's a great
I
artist. And again, his covers sell like hotcakes. So I'm not
have a
surprised.
sketch of his in my little book here.
There you go. But
We
so
should keep going.
that's pretty much it on the variant watch. But now, hold on, do it.
Drew's News, exciting tales, fresh comic views. In the pages, heroes fly, villains plot under the sky. From Gotham's dark to Metropolis views, we cover stories old and new. Drew's News, your daily source for comic clues. Join the fun, it's a heroic cruise in the world of Drew's Comic News.
Yay!
Every goddamn time.
Every time
You
I try to get out.
You son of a pastiche. All right. So we do have some news. So we're going to go through each of them. I believe this is me. So, yeah, this is me. So we know that there's definitely more than one Ghost Rider in Marvel Comics, and we've seen them in some form or another, teaming up against each other. It's just that. But now we're going to see all of them together again in a new upcoming series called Spirits of Violence. So written by Sabir Pirzada and with art by Paul Davidson. So this is going to be following the events of Spirits of Vengeance and uniting Johnny Blaze, Danny Ketch, Kushala, Helverine. There's going to be the newcomer, Phantasma, and of course Robbie Reyes back from his exile in the page of the Avengers. But the question is, why are they back? Why are the old flaming skullheads back together? Well, essentially to battle the spirit of violence. So the synopsis is, when a strange group of new villains set their sinister plans in motion, Ghost Riders past, present, and future must combine forces to save the world. But who is the spirit of violence, and what horrors do they bring from Johnny Blaze and Danny Ketch's collective past? Forget everything you know about Ghost Rider. The most climactic ride in history starts here. So, Pirzada essentially hints that reminding us that if you've read the previous series, Spirits of Vengeance, we already know the host for the Spirit of Violence is none other than Barbara Ketch. So it's Danny's sister, back from the dead, who's already on warpath. I mean, she's already killed one of the writers, the Linda Little Trees. So this is essentially what was already intended. This is being indicated. This is not a quote unquote safe book. So this is no one is safe. So just because we know these characters have been here a long time does not mean we can't see them go to the great junkyard in the sky. So already you've got a smattering of gorgeous covers. You know, you had the main cover by Kendrick Kanuka Lim, and then Simone Bianchi, E.M. Gist, and of course Peach Momoko. Amazing. Just is hands down fantastic. So you can check all this out. And if you like what you see, this issue one hits stores October 1st. So,
Sweet.
listen, the funny thing is, if if our wonderful co-host Carrie was here, she would have covered that because you know how much she loves her Ghost Riders. So
absolutely.
Absolutely. So flame on, Carrie. Wait, wrong. Wait. It took me a second. Wait a second. Wrong. But all right, Leo, what's next?
Fire it up. It's
here we go.
DCKO. What is this? DCKO, you ask? It's a 5-issue limited series debuting on October 8th, the day after my birthday, by the way. Shh. It's going to be a collaboration between Joshua Williamson and Scott Snyder. The main title is going to be Scott Snyder writing. Joshua Williamson's going to be doing any tie-ins and one-shots that go along for it. On the main title, Javi Fernandez is going to be doing the art. The story centers on 36 DC heroes, which that's insane, in a brutal ladder-style gladiatorial tournament set in a 5-level arena rising from the earth. contestants will fight to generate Omega energy to take down Darkseid and crown a new King Omega. It's going to be driven by Superman, a Superman-driven story, exploring his heart of darkness, following the Bat Wonder Woman-centric arcs of metal and death metal. It starts... Actually, there's going to be a prelude that comes out October 1st in Justice League, the Omega Act #1. It's going to be a 48-page prologue by Joshua Williamson and art by Yasmin Putri.
Okay.
And October 8th, DCKO #1 drops with tons of variants. You're going to have variants from Jim Lee, Daniel Warren Johnson, Frank Cho, Jay Lee, Mike Del Mundo, Ben Oliver, Nubovich, Dan Mora, Mark Spears, Scott Koblish, and main art Javi Fernandez. People who are going to San Diego Comic-Con can pick up can editions of this week. So they're all getting a great surprise right away. This is all part of the DC All In publishing initiative, which launched back in 2024. This is to further escalate the narrative stakes. So I'm really excited. It sounds like a really cool kind of series. It's only going to be 5 issues too. Oh, I forgot to tell you about the tie-ins. The tie-ins come out. Let's see. You got Titans #28 on October 15th. Superman #31 and The Flash #26 on October 22nd, and Justice League #12 also on the 22nd. It's going to be a huge event in the DC timeline. It's not that many issues. It's about 10, I think, altogether. If you get the tie-ins, the main story is only 5 issues. That's fantastic. It's a great, in my opinion, a great main event to have. Especially like you're gonna have people sitting there going like, because they're doing the tiers of like, we don't know who's in the tiers yet, by the way, but the tiers. It's gonna be fun for dorks to sit there and place bets on who's gonna win what.
Very cool.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. It's and it's very reasonable. 10 issues with the tie-ins, like I
can't even imagine the tie-ins are going to be too what's the word, necessary for the main story. I think it'll just make the story bigger,
Right.
I think DC learned their lesson with like the 40-something issue Fear State.
Oh, yeah.
We haven't really seen large tie-ins like
you just can't stop bringing that
I
up.
will never let it go. 40-something friggin' issues.
Leo, this is me saying it. Take a page from Frozen and let it go. Okay?
Nope. Never.
All right. Cool. Well, we don't have time for your hate. So what's next?
Okay, next up is me. It's a me.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so DC Comics is going all in this October, celebrating the 1-year anniversary with their All In initiative by sharpening focus on the Absolute Universe with a slate of titles called Absolute Evil. Throughout October, DC is publishing 2 oversized Absolute Universe one-shots and 5 pivotal new issues, each delivering shocking moments that redefine the newest universe. So first up is going to be Absolute Evil #1 on October 1st, written by Al Ewing with art by Giuseppe Camicoli and Stefano Nessi. Variant covers will be provided by Fabrizio Di Tommaso, Gerald Perel, Dustin Nguyen, Riley Rosmo, and a foil variant cover also illustrated by Rosmo. And then we get into some amazing stuff. October 29th, we get an Absolute Batman annual number 1. And I forgot to mention the Absolute Evil is going to be one-shots. Absolute Batman annual number 1 comes out October 29th. So explore the chaotic early days of Absolute Batman through multiple stories, revealing key moments from his formative period. Discover how Bruce acquired his Batmobile and witness his brutal first encounters with Black Mask's crew during those raw early adventures.
With Leo, I'm sorry to interrupt, but what's happening in the other Absolute Evil one? Did you mention that?
Let's see. I just had Absolute Evil number 1.
Well, yeah, but in that, because there's a brief synopsis, it's basically where we see Ra's al Ghul, Veronica Cale, Hector Hammond.
Sorry. The story focuses on the rising tide of villainy, featuring Ra's al Ghul, Veronica Cale, Hector Hammond, Eleanor Thawne, and the mysterious Joker. So these villains have aligned, united, and dangerous. However, an insider betrayal from within threatens to unravel everything these dastardly deviants have done. And this one shot introduces not one but 2 major Absolute characters who will change the course of the Absolute universe. And thanks for reminding me on that. Yeah. Okay. So we covered Absolute Batman. Next is going to be ongoing series Absolute Batman number 13. The climactic battle between Batman and Bane. And if you haven't been reading that, oh my God, Bane is friggin' insane. And then we get to see Killer Croc as well. Holy shit. Awesome stuff if you're not reading it. So anyway, so Absolute Bane reaches its explosive conclusion with Batman's freedom hanging in the balance of Arc M. A mysterious new player enters Gotham's criminal underworld, and Absolute Catwoman makes her highly anticipated debut. And then we go on to Absolute Wonder Woman, number 13. Diana uncovers forgotten Amazon history in Gateway City while supernatural attacks plague the world. Working with Barbara and Etta, she races to find the connection between these mysterious assaults, and only to discover the threat hits closer to home than expected. Absolute Superman number 12 comes out October 1st. And Superman faces an impossible choice as Ra's al Ghul's demands submission, threatening Smallville with destruction, and the Man of Steel refuses to become the son of the demon. The Lazarus Corp launches their invasion of Kansas in this high-stakes confrontation. Absolute Flash number 8 coming out October 15th. Barry Allen's world is shaken when the true origins of Fort Fox and his experimental technology are finally revealed. The shocking discoveries will fundamentally challenge everything he believes about speed, consequences, and the very foundation of the Absolute universe. And then we get into Green Lantern. October 1st, the cosmic threat of the Black Stars approaches Earth with devastating intent. Only Tomar Ray stands as the final guardian against their ambitions, fighting to prevent the complete destruction of what remains of Absolute Awa.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a listing for Absolute Manhunter, but I don't think I have an image for that. No. A lot of Absolute stuff.
Yeah, they're really going into it.
Yeah. And I mean, we still haven't found who got lost in the Absolute universe. Booster Gold.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're right.
That's what started it all.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But
Gold.
Yeah, man. But
yeah,
all right,
he
was in the DC All-In. He went through the portal that was left after Darkseid had quote unquote died, and that's where he found like the Darkseid Corps, or it was like it was the Darkseid Legion. You know, it was basically what's the Absolute universe. So, but he was from And then again, Leo, don't forget there's also the interesting story that was told in the DC Absolute for Free Comic Book Day, which suggested a very intriguing crossover. Is very much on the possible horizon. So, yes, definitely something that we should reflect on. All right, cool. Enough innuendos. Oh God, this is a lot. I'm gonna really do my best to go through this, guys. There's a lot here. So if you had saw our previous interview, which shameless plug, if you're not subscribed to our channel, please definitely do so, because not only do we have all these shows every Tuesday, we have a smattering of interviews and things, especially a lot planned for Terrificon in a couple of weeks. So do that. But if you tuned into our interview recently with Saladin Ahmed, we discussed the Age of Revelation, which as was briefly discussed, is a storyline jumping ahead 10 years into the future this October. So this is a Marvel world reborn in the Age of Apocalypse's heir, Doug Ramsey, aka Revelation, who rules over a new mutant utopia built on a lie that essentially would threaten the entire Earth. So throughout the week, we've now learned the Age of Revelation titles. So these are series set within this landscape, revealing ones that are starring all new X-Men teams, solo sagas, and whatnot. So if you're interested, Age of Revelation issue 0 has already out, and it's pretty solid. Not gonna lie, I already read it. Age of Revelation will officially start October 1st with the AOR Overture, which is written and drawn by the current X-Men team. That's Jed MacKay and Ryan Stegman. So then we're going to be continuing with that. So it's absolutely crazy because we have so many titles. So I'm going to do my best to go through all of them. But just to give you an idea of how many there are. No, Leo, one at a time. Amazing X-Men, Laura Kinney Sabretooth, Binary, Long Shots, World of Revelation, Unbreakable X-Men, Rogue Storm, Iron Frost, Sinister Six. It's a lot. So let's just take it from the top and let's start.
Just heads up, I only have 4 images.
No, it's fine, but I'm just telling you of what we have.
Fine then. Be that way.
Well, I sent you 2 links, buddy. Ha. So, first things first, we had Leo. First one was Unbreakable X-Men. So, excuse me. Unbreakable X-Men, Gail Simone, Lucas Wernick. Basically, years later, and the Uncanny X-Men are shattered by loss and tragedy and scattered to different locations around the world. At a Haven House, only 3 remain. Wounded, grieving, and guarding the portal to the terrifying penumbra. Can they stop the darkness that's lurking below the surface for centuries, screaming to break out? Or they fail and watch a vengeful god bring an army of tormented souls crying out for mutant blood? So that's on sale on the 15th. The next one is Rogue Storm. So Rogue Storm is, written by Mireia Adelaide, art by Roland Boschi, and of course the cover by Humberto Ramos, also available on the 15th. So later, with Earth's gods gone, only Aurora Monroe, the mutant goddess Storms, remains. So she's a goddess driven mad by dark magic and grief. So as she threatens to freeze the world into a new ice age, Rogue leads a team of killers and legends, Gateway, Iceman, Phantom X, Spiral, and Warpath, with the sole mission of this sort of uncanny X-Force, kill Storm. So, which would be tough to do as her own teammate. The next one is Iron Frost. So written by Cavan Scott, art by Rory Coleman, cover by Ryan Brown. After 3K's devastating terrorist attack cost Tony Stark and Emma Frost everything, the Heartless Queen returns to what remains of her past. Secrets hide in the ruins of New York. The Hellfire Club has a dangerous new leader. By the way, Leo, if you just check a recent message from our other co-host, there should be a link for the other covers. Next would be Sinister Six. So written by David Marquez, art by Rafael Luerero, and of course the cover by Marquez himself. So a certain amount of years later, Mr. Sinister assembles an elite strike force to take his rightful place on the throne of Revelation. What has Sinister offered Havoc Black Cat, Domino, Omega Red, Phantom X, and Venom to convince them to take on impossible odds. Are they throwing their lives away, or has Revelation underestimated how far his subjects will go when there's nothing to lose? There are a few other titles as well. Leo, if you see what Carrie messaged you in the group chat.
Yep. I'm pulling it up right now.
So you have there, that's Amazing X-Men 1, that's written by Jed McKay, art and cover by Mohammed Asrar, we had on the show earlier this year, on the 8th. So this book features a team that's on the run after a deadly clash with Revelation's chief assassin. The Shattered X-Men gamble everything on one last mission. With help from an unexpected ally, they venture into the haunted ruins of Greymulkin. What they find there may change everything if they survive. So again, all of these books that we're talking about right now, you'll see on October 8th. The next one is Binary, written by Stephanie Phillips, who we interviewed last year at Terrificon. We're hoping to get an interview from again this year. Art by Giada Belviso and cover by Ricky Yagawa. So basically, in the ashes of the old world, to survive, Binary is reborn, a cosmic force channeling the Phoenix itself. With the universe crumbling, Binary returns to save what's left. But this power of the Phoenix is always comes at the price, and in the end of everything may begin with her. The next one is a really interesting series, Laura Kinney's Sabretooth, written by Erica Schultz, art by Valentina Pintini, and of course the cover by Elena Casagrande. So, years later, Laura Kinney has taken the name of the once bitter enemy, Sabretooth, and fights beside Revelation himself. Why did she abandon her legacy? What secrets is she keeping from the mutant world? And when loyalty changes, blood means everything. The next one is Long Shots, written by Jerry Dugan and Jonathan Hickman, art by Alan Robinson with a cover by Dustin Weaver. 10 years later, and Mojo's got a new game for Wonder Man, Hellcat, Bishop, Rhino, and Kraven to play. No rules. One survivor wins, the others die. So he's basically, Mojo promises you can vote for the winners with your dollars, but you probably can't. So, wow. And then there's the last but not least is the last book, which is World of Revelation. So this is written by Ryan North, Al Ewing, Steve Fox, art by Adam Zalowski, Jesus Marino, and more, cover by C.F. Villa. The world outside your window is gone. 10 years later, what happened to the Fantastic Four? What horrors plagued the East Coast? How does the rest of the world survive the rise of Revelation? And far above, on Araco, aka Mars, what does Apocalypse think of his hair's new empire? Discover the far-reaching impact of Age of Revelation across the Marvel Universe. So, like I said, the first section we've seen, that's available on the 15th. The second section will be available on the 8th. But Marvel is investing heavily on this, and they've got some top-notch talent. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this goes. And I don't know if you guys are picking it up, but I'm definitely feeling some new age of apocalypse kind of vibes to this. What do you guys think?
Yeah, definitely.
Right?
Definitely. One of my favorite runs, too, back in the day.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but didn't they just reboot Age of Apocalypse? There was like
no, they're coming back to it.
Oh, it's coming back to it.
Yeah, it's continuing the story. That's what that is, my man. But yeah, moving on to the next one. It's not me,
next
right?
one's gonna be Jar Jar.
Oh, is it? What we got?
If you need help with this one, I got you.
Super Creep Show Special #1 is an upcoming one-shot horror meets superhero comic announced by Skybound Image, dropping on October 8th. Once again, it's an anthology format with 3 chilling stories blending horror tropes with superhero elements. Story #1 is going to be written by Dan Waters and art by Carmine D. Giandomenico. Man, yeah, I practiced that name so much earlier, so I wouldn't do that. A
And
Funeral
Dan
for the
Waters,
World's. What's that?
sorry, Dan Waters is the one that did that real creepy Batman story, right?
Then what? Nightwing. Um,
We had him on
the
the show.
Batman. Yeah, the Batman book we all like. Dark
Yeah,
Patterns.
with the guy with the pain guy with all the nails.
Yes. Yeah, he
Okay.
did also. Yeah, Dark Patterns.
Yep,
Same
Dark
guy.
Pattern.
He's
Mhm.
writing a story called A Funeral for the World's Greatest Hero. Or no, that's not the name of it. I'm sorry. The name of it is.
Sorry, I screwed you up.
Yeah.
You up.
No,
That's man.
you didn't. Hold on. I
You had
lost it.
one job, buddy.
I had one job and now I can't
Oh no,
even.
it wasn't you, Leo. Like, stop trying to mess his groove up, man.
All
I
right,
got
I
excited.
guess I didn't write down the name of this story, but it's a funeral for a world's greatest hero backfires horribly is the premise. And then you have Ryan Stegman, who is known for X-Men, and Riley Rossmo, which I don't know the name. I tried to Google him. I didn't
DC.
find.
He's a DC.
Oh,
Mhm.
Meet the Grave Ghost is the name of the story, and it's a hero investigating his own death, which obviously means the Grave Ghost is him.
Mhm.
And then the third story is by Ed Brisson, known for Old Man Logan, and art by Andre Bresson. A super serum experiment with villainous consequences. It's sounds really interesting. I wish Carrie was here to do the story justice. It
You're doing
really,
fine, buddy.
yeah. They have 3 variants that I know of. Cover A is by Pi Par, which I believe that is
The Dark Knight Returns.
the Dark Knight Returns homage. And then
Mhm.
cover B is by Carmine D. Giandomenico.
Oof.
See, I got it the second time.
Mhm. And then the
And
last one
then
is Optimo.
cover C is Riley Rossmo. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. As I said, I wish Carrie was here because God, it's
You're doing
it's her
fine.
world.
Have faith, buddy. You're doing fine.
So October 8th, make sure you put it into LCS. I believe the FOC for it is coming up pretty soon.
Yes.
Oh, I should mention it's a 40-page one shot and it's only $4.99. So
Oh, nice.
yeah.
Very nice. All right. So what's next?
Next up, I think it's me.
It's you.
Halloween. Halloween.
It's me.
Yep.
And
Okay.
let me pull up my notes here. Okay, so hello, Halloween. So horror fans, trick or treat yourself to some fresh nightmares. Boom! Studios is getting festive with Hello Halloween #1, a special Halloween edition of their acclaimed horror anthology Hello Darkness. So this chilling installment brings terrifying new tales just in time to haunt your seasonal reading list. We're getting top tier talent across the board, including a brand new Graveyard Club story from horror master R.L. Stine with art by Cariola Borelli. So, plus we're getting a new installment of I Can't Take You Anywhere in shorts from comic horror icons Robert Hack, Megan Hutchinson, Sean Patrick Boyd, and Elijah Henry. So the cover lineup is absolutely stacked too. Fraser Irving, Drew Roush, Jeremy Bastian, Jenny Frizen, and Mattia DeLuise are all contributing covers. That's some serious artistic firepower for it. And Boom Studios has been crushing it with their horror output lately. And Hello Darkness has become one of their standout series. So getting a Halloween special edition feels like the perfect way to celebrate the spookiest time of the year. And hopefully I did carry justice on this. We just had 2 images here. And Hello Halloween looks like it's going to deliver the scares, and I didn't see a date on it. But
What
I
studio
imagine
is it from?
It's gonna be in October.
Studio.
Yeah. All right.
You like
Fair
that, Jar Jar?
Yes.
Yes.
Boom!
All right.
Studios.
Boom.
Plus,
All right.
you wrote with like 3 T's in there. That was great. I like that. You rhymed and everything.
There you
Oh,
go.
thank you.
So I think the last story is me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yep.
Pachuca. All right. So continuing, October is going to be a very busy month. So Image and Top Cow Productions will launch Death to Pachuco, which is a bold 5-issue noir miniseries from Henry Barras, who worked on La Voz de Mayo, Helm, and Grail Castle. Artist Rachel Merrill, who did Izzy and Jean, and colorist Lee Luridge. So this is inspired by Zoot Suit, Double Amenity. So this is gonna be a blend of historical fiction, crime drama, and cultural resistance. So this is set in 1943 LA during the aftermath of the Sleepy Lagoon murder and the lead up to the Zoot Suit riots. The story follows Private Eye Ricardo Ricky.
Riot.
God damn it!
Throw me
I
a
hate them.
bottle of beer.
The story follows Private Eye Ricardo Ricky Tellez as he races to solve a murder before he becomes the target of a violent, racially charged manhunt. With tensions boiling over between the U.S. Navy servicemen and Mexican American youth, Tellez must navigate a city where justice is in short supply, and being of Mexican nationality or descent can be a death sentence. So, just similar to what Jar was talking about, fans attending San Diego Comic Con can get an early taste with a Death to Pachuco issue 1 limited edition ash can will be available at the Top Cow booth. um, the writer will be signing throughout the weekend and appearing on Top Cow, the New Universe panel. That's going to be on Saturday, July 22nd. He said this is his most personal project yet, drawing on real history to shine a light on racial injustice that he feels still echoes today. And Rachel Morrill's expressive, gritty visuals combined with the atmospheric colors just bring 1940s LA to life with period accurate style and emotional heft. So, it's basically a story about a dark time past while we're currently living through one. So you got a wide variety of covers: David Lapham, Katie Shelley, Shelkey, Marco Finnegan, Gab Contreras, and Ramon Villalobos, featuring multiple ratio variants for each collector. I mean, the pages look fantastic. This is all available on October 8th, and I am set. This looks amazing. So,
October 8th is going to be a big release day.
seriously, um, yeah. But yeah, so that's pretty much it, Leo. Unless there's
Yeah.
another news story that snuck in while I was ranting.
Nope.
Um,
Nope. But yeah, for the last one, I mean, just pop on Scroll Nut zippers and head on to
there you
your
go.
LCS.
But and then also I think we need to cover is that we're going to be quite busy this weekend because this weekend is San Diego Comic Con, so there's going to be a lot of news.
San Diego.
Yeah, man, we're definitely going to have to. We might have to do one of those separate shows, just like last time. Remember, Leo?
Yep.
Carrie's
Depends
got
on
to get healthy. We need her for this one.
exactly, but also we have to talk about the next guest for next week, Leo. So, hey, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. We hope you enjoy the guys from Homebrewed Comics. And if you like what you saw, again, I said before, I'll say it again: like and subscribe to our channel. We do a lot of great work, and we want to make sure that all the people are getting all the news, enjoying our good times. And please, chime in, ask a question. Who knows? Maybe we can make a Creator's Day. Next week, we'll be covering the mayhem that's coming up from San Diego Comic Con, and we will be having on the great Paul Jenkins on, a prominent DC Marvel writer with a great backstory. We're going to be talking to him about a lot of his career. The guy worked on Hellblazer. He worked on Peter Parker Spider-Man. He worked on Inhumans, The Sentry. There's a ton of stuff. So we're really excited that we're able to get him on, and we really hope to see you there.
And Carrie just did a panel with him, right?
Phil Hester.
Oh, was that Phil Hester? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I screwed that up.
It's okay, bud. Don't worry. But all right, Leopold, I don't think there's
Yeah.
anything else. Do you want to sign us off?
Yep, we'll wrap it up. I want to thank everybody for watching this fine evening. You know me, you know how to find me, but more importantly, follow these awesome dudes here. They're going to tell you all about where to find them. Also, Homebrew Comics. Definitely check the show notes up above or down below. Go check out their stuff. It's awesome stuff. We barely got into what was it, Castian? What was that Castian one?
The Celestial Knight.
No. The one that went to Mars.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cassian. Anyway, check out their stuff. Awesome stuff. Jar Jar.
Hey, that's me. Oh, hey, well, that's a wrap on today's adventure. Through cryptid karate kicks and D&D powered super squads. Huge thanks to the crew from Homebrewed Comics for hanging out, geeking out, and showing us what happens when passion meets panels. If you haven't already, go check out C.R.I.T, Bigfoot Knows Karate, and all the other brilliant, wild, crazy stuff going on at Homebrewed Comics. Support them on Kickstarter, follow them on socials, and most importantly, read the damn comics. As always, I'm Jar Jar Jeremy, reminding you that comics are better when they're brewed by hand. Until next time, stay righteous, stay weird, and never underestimate a Bigfoot with a black belt. Catch you next episode.
Woohoo!
I feel like we should have just ended the show there. Like, why? So, hey, everybody, I'm Drew Mallow. You can find me on Facebook, Ghostbuster 1984 on Instagram. Also, find me on Blue Sky as well. I'm here every Tuesday. I'm occasionally on other Dorkening shows. We are working very hard behind the scenes to make sure that Terrificon coming up in the beginning of August is one for the books, as in the history books, because we are going to rule. And it's going to be great. And we honestly encourage you to show up because Mitch Halleck puts on an amazing show. And we would also love to meet you because, again, who better us to meet than people who watch us every week and fulfill us with a sense of purpose and ego. Even that, follow us, follow our co-host Carrie, who again is, despite being not feeling well, still showed up. Thank you again very much, Carrie. And yeah, just have a good rest of the week, everybody.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'll catch you later.